I'm Brandi Baros. I'm a biologist. I have both a bachelor's and a PhD in biology, and my focus has been microbiology and biochemistry. I became interested in the silver material being used in Guardian filters. Not necessarily all bacteria are bad, but certainly there are places and times where you don't want to have a lot of bacteria. How do we keep bacteria from growing in your hot tub or in your swimming pool? Chlorination, obviously, or bromination, or using other methods to kill bacteria, ultraviolet light, are good, but you also need to have your filters in place to collect things like hair, bits of skin, and so on. And a lot of these things are substances that will feed bacteria, and bacteria will grow on them. We have this new material that's got silver in the filter material in the cloth. I took this to my laboratory and I exposed that material to different kinds of bacteria. These include some bacteria that are found on human skin, like Staphylococcus. These include bacteria that are found in the large intestine and make their way out of the body, like Enterobacter and E. coli. And this also includes a variety of bacteria that are just found in the soil and in the environment, like Pseudomonas. I picked a couple different varieties of Pseudomonas to test because Pseudomonas is a champion biofilm former. In my experience, it will stick to pretty much any surface that you give it to stick to. So what I did is I took a sheet of this silver impregnated filter material from Guardian. I cut it up into 1 centimeter square pieces and I put those into little culture dishes, and I added some broth that bacteria would grow in, and I added bacteria to those wells. What I found when I went to look at the filters when I was done was something rather interesting. When I went to pull the filters out, the bacteria had formed these big, gloppy, awful biofilms that I was able to pull up because they were sticking to the sides of the container, they were across the surface of the liquid, and it even stuck to the forceps that I was using to pull the filters out, but then it slipped right off the filters really quickly. And when I rinsed the filters with just a little bit of water before staining the bacteria, that process just completely removed the bacteria. So by the time I was able to put the filters under the microscope to look for stained bacteria, this is in comparison to some similar material without the silver that I just put into that broth for a short period of time, and bacteria adhered to it in the matter of a couple minutes. Even through the rinsing and the staining, I was able to see those bacteria under the microscope very easily. The filter material here that's being used in the Guardian filters is repelling bacteria. Bacteria aren't sticking to it. That doesn't necessarily mean that bacteria won't grow in your hot tub or your pool. If you're not treating it, you're still going to have bacteria sticking to the surfaces of the hot tub, the surface of the pool, potentially in your plumbing, and in the water itself. So you do want to still be treating your system appropriately. You really do need to have something going so that you're killing the bacteria. But the good news here with the filter is that the bacteria aren't going to grow on the filter. That means that the filter's not going to degrade as quickly because you won't have bacteria that are capable of chewing down the filter itself. And it should mean that your filter might last longer, so you may be able to go longer between filter changes. And if you are pulling the filter out and rinsing off the stuff that accumulates on it, right, the hair, the skin flakes, whatever, the dirt that gets tracked in, you can rinse this filter and continue using it longer than you might be able to use a regular filter. Knowing what I know now, having worked with this filter material, if I were buying a filter for a pool or spa, I would buy a silver impregnated filter. This is going to be safer for your family. This is going to save some money for you. It's going to be a better quality filter. It's a better investment.